Here's the thing to know about Jeremy Irons, the great Oscar-winning actor. He is not the kind of fella to censor himself. Jeremy is a tabloid editor's dream with his scathing comments on smoking.
Don't tell me that I'm not allowed to smoke in a 58-acre park in the middle of New York because I'll kill someone.
On Downton Abbey, he's compared it to a Ford Fiesta. Probably won't be getting invited there soon. And of course, controversial remarks he made earlier this year in a response to a question about gay marriage.
I worry that it means somehow we debase or we change what marriage is.
The irony is that Jeremy, aka Pope Alexander VI on the Borgias, has built a career playing characters who bottle things up. Brideshead Revisited, the magnificent series in which every emotion was kept in its stifling place.
But for heaven's sake, what's the priest for?
Reversal of Fortune, Jeremy's hemmed-in Oscar-winning portrayal of Klaus von Bülow, the aristocrat accused of attempting to murder his wife.
You took them, didn't you?
My dear, I've long since stopped interfering.
And then there was his partnership with Canada's own David Cronenberg. Dead Ringers, as I mentioned. Jeremy has identical twin gynecologists, and yes, it is every bit as creepy as it sounds.
A lot of you are probably wondering how we divide the work.
The doomed romance known as M. Butterfly. Jeremy has a lot of time and love for Cronenberg, currently the subject of a major exhibit at the Toronto International Film Festival. It's called David Cronenberg Evolution.
Please welcome to the program the wonderful Jeremy Irons. Oh, you all right?
Nice to see you, man.
Oh,
Nice to see you. Very good. Yes.
Welcome. How are things?
Things are good.
It is, there's much to talk about with you, and often when I suppose when you go and talk to press, it's about things you're doing, but must be nice to talk about David Cronenberg. You mock, sir, but you'll find yourself oddly emotive.
I understand. They're interesting pieces of furniture, aren't they?
You sit on this one, feel the difference. Feel the difference in that one.
Oh, God.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Very good.
All right, there we go.
But why waste the money making you comfortable? Absolutely.
I want to stay on the top of my game, sir. No, Cronenberg, I mean, just the idea that a wonderful actor like yours with your career comes in and says, hey,
what about the mayor? Never mind Cronenberg.
I know, right?
Where is the mayor? Do we know where the mayor is?
He came out and said...
He came out of his office?
Yes, he did.
I thought he was in the toilet. I thought he was probably hiding in the toilet. He came out of the office and said...
And he said, listen, I can't talk about it.
Of course, because it's going to be dealt with, yeah. Poor guy. Anyway, he has to sort it out. But David Cronenberg, fortunately, doesn't have those problems. No. Although the character I played in Dead Ringers...
Had many problems.
The two characters had many of similar problems to the mayor. Yeah, they were gynecologists, not mayors.
No, and they were brothers, and there was... Do you feel like you can relate to the mayor because of that character?
I do. I mean, the great thing about being an actor is you play all these strange characters, and it allows you to relate to actually almost anybody. I mean, you do understand that, because I played sort of 60 different people who've seen life through their eyes. So when I see something like the mayor, I think, yeah, okay. It's a tough call, but you got to deal with it.
I think of you as a busker. I think of you as a social worker kind of guy.
Busking was because I love singing, right. And I usually travel with a musical instrument of some kind, a guitar or a piano or whatever. And it was also, at the age I was doing it, a great way to pick up girls.
Right.
Because I'd never learned. I had friends who had this great sort of chat-up line with girls, and I used to look at them with amazement and think, how do you do that? It's fantastic.
You had terrible opening lines?
I didn't know. I mean, I would spend the whole evening sort of looking at someone who'd be, I think they're looking back at me, you know, and by the end of the evening it was time to go, and I hadn't even said hello.
Right.
But when you sat with a guitar on a pavement by a cinema queue or whatever, beautiful girls would come up and sit beside you to listen.
Now, did you see them and change the song you were playing as they walked?
I changed everything as they walked, if I thought it would get them to stop.
You have been acting from the beginning, then.
Well, yeah, although I don't much like acting. I mean, I became an actor because I wanted to be a gypsy.
Right. Meaning, travel the world, see things.
Travel the world, be outside, comment upon, tell stories, work very closely with groups of people if I happen to be camping with them at that point. Right. And then we move on and some of us meet up again. And it's actually turned out quite like that.
Well, you lived in the place you grew up in was it was a beautiful place, I suppose, but there would be a part of the year when the regattas were going on where all these people would show up and then leave.
Yeah, where? What sort of...
Didn't you, like, in a little village...
Oh, the Isle of Wight?
Yeah, where people would show up for, like, races.
A Cowes regatta.
Yeah.
You've done great research.
You know.
I was born in Cowes,
Yeah.
but my mother then brought me back home in an ambulance to a place called St Helens.
So right away.
So we didn't have regattas.
Well, do you feel like you've been ripped off, the no regatta life?
No, I don't like... I'm not a competitive person. I don't like regatta. I love to sail, but I don't like regattas. I love to ride, but I don't like gymkhanas or sort of point-to-points or whatever. I like to do these things on my own. And I'm actually I'm happier when I'm not with lots of people. I work with lots of people. I mean, if you're making a movie, there's 100 people all doing their own jobs to make this thing happen. And so when I'm not working, I love to be on my own, maybe with a horse or a dog or someone who doesn't answer back, sometimes with my wife.
You've been married a long time, man.
Yeah.
A long time.
Yeah.
So you managed to put that together.
I know, I don't know how we've managed. One day at a time is what I always say.
When you go back to the early days, you say you didn't want to be an actor, but were you confident?
Was I no, no, I wasn't confident. I wasn't very good to start with. When I was at drama school, I love furniture. I've always loved doing things up. I've always loved finding old things, often chairs, actually, and think that could be wonderful. And I would buy them at auction, do them up and sell them and make a little bit of money for my living expenses. And everybody I was at drama school with thought I'd be in the antique business. And for some reason, my career seemed to keep going, and I did all right. I still love doing things up, but I've just done up a medieval tower house, which is not quite the same as a chair, but it's the same principle.
Right. Did you paint it pink as well, or...?
It wasn't pink. I know that that's what the press said, but it was actually a very nice sort of burnt umber.
Let's go back to the early days. Want to revisit for a second? Look at this.
Revisit.
Watch this.
It's going to be embarrassing.
No.
I don't think I could eat another thing. Coffee, brandy? No, really, Uncle.
Oh, we are robbed!
And what you need is a private detective.
Yes, where to find? We do not know any private detectives, monsieur.
Ah, well, as it happens, I do. There's a firm we've used from time to time.
Really?
Whether I've got their address... Yes, I have. Here, I'll jot it down for you.
Yes, I go now.
Are you sure you're in a fit state?
Oh, there is no time to lose, monsieur.
Always the wonderful dresser.
Is that me?
Yeah.
What was it?
Rivals Sherlock?
The Rivals of Sherlock?
Sherlock, early, like
I've
70.
never seen that. That's terrifying.
It's amazing. First of all...
Where did you find it?
Well, we just have a way. We have a way. We have a way.
Will you give me a copy?
I sure can.
I have to study it.
You have to look at it.
I do.
Without dialogue, you just did this. It was quite wonderful. It was quite wonderful. Go tell me what...
The Rivals of Sherlock. I've forgotten all about that. It's not in my resume.
No.
No. And I think we know why.
All right, hang on. Stick around. More with Jeremy Irons after this.
All right, we'll be back with more with Jeremy.
All of us are in this trap of consumerism that has really built up since the end of the Second World War, where we're told that if we buy, we'll be happy. No one knows exactly how much rubbish we produce. What we do know is that with 7 billion of us, we're making more garbage now than at any other time in history. But does anyone know what happens to it all? How it's affecting the land, the air, the seas, and ultimately, us?
The trash stuff, the recycle stuff, your worldview. I want to find out about what you were like as a social worker. Did you...
I loved social work because it opened up this... I had a very privileged education. And when I finished, I had no idea really what I wanted to do. So they asked me to go and do social work in South London, where very deprived, very poor people lived. And I ran the youth club on a Sunday night. And I visited the old people, and I entered this community and found a way of life completely different to what I knew. And I remember there was a moment, I chucked some kids who were breaking up the party out of the social club on one Sunday night, and they'd gone for me with their guys. And I was under this pile of kicking boots, and I thought to myself, yeah, there's got to be another way to manage people than this. But it taught me a lot. But what I didn't get was I didn't get anything back, because, you know, social work, you're always giving out, and you're dealing with people who really need your help, and they don't have much to give back except thank you. But I found I needed nourishment myself, and I think performing gives me that, because I get back from an audience.
But you still have that streak that runs through you, this idea of social consciousness, and in a sense still connecting to social justice in a way.
Yeah, but I think we all have that to a certain extent.
Not everybody acts on it, though. Like, you put yourself out and do it.
I'm very fortunate in that I have a little bit of clout, not a lot. And so we made recently this documentary about garbage and about how we produce too much, how we don't know how to get rid of it, how we hurt our atmosphere, our health, our food chain by how we get rid of all this garbage we produce.
What connected you to this? What made you passionate about this?
Well, when I learned about it, I wanted to make a documentary about something I thought was important. I make a lot of films which are nice, which are good to see, some of them. But I thought, let's use that clout to actually make something which needs to be said.
We talked about this but outside, but just your character in The Mission, like being in a film like The Mission, you were the guy with a conscience.
I suppose, yeah.
You know, in a way. And so you're connected to that kind of art. Is it through the fictional world that connected you?
No, it's not through that. It's just, you see, I'm only an actor when I'm working, when I'm acting. The rest of the time, I'm a person, and of course I care about things. Of course I care about the mess we're making of so much. Of course I care that all of us are in this trap of consumerism that has really built up since the end of the Second World War, where we're told that if we buy, we'll be happy. And it's a lie. And as soon as we realize that we don't need all this stuff, the economy is going to have to change. Economies at the moment are supposed to grow 2.5%, 3% a year in order to be healthy. Well, why? They can't.
You think we'll change?
Well, we have to. Economies can't grow like that because the world is finite.
Stick around. More with Jeremy Irons right after this.
I'll be left forward.
No. I want that. That's good.
Not only is Jeremy a fantastic actor, he's done his time as a street musician as well. So I'm going to surprise him with a guitar. We'll see what happens next.
You do a great Jeremy.
Oh, you do? Oh, interesting.
That's the word on the street.
Oh, wow, this was going so well. I didn't realize that we're going to go.
You don't want to do it, I guess.
I don't do a great one, but I do remember when Jeremy called Brian, and we were so excited that he agreed to play the old man. It's called The Old Man. That's the character's name. He's not an old man. And he left a message, and I remember it was like, we kept putting on speaker, and he just said, Brian, it's Jeremy Irons. Yeah, it's not a great one.
No, it's good. I wanted more.
You wanted more? Yeah. That was just little teaser.
Back here with Jeremy Irons. It's important to work with young actors, right?
Oh, it's very difficult working with Bradley Cooper. He's so good and so good looking that he makes you feel like an old fart. It's really tough.
Well, your son can act.
I know.
Really good.
He seems to be, yeah. He's in Kiev in Russia at the moment, making a movie.
How do you feel about that? He's a young, handsome, talented guy?
I'm happy that he's happy. I mean, it's a business which is difficult, which is very different from when I went into it. But he seems to be doing well, and people seem to like him, and he's happy. It's all you want for your children, really, for them to have a passion.
Do you tell him what to do and what not to do?
No, he won't listen to me.
No, at all?
And quite rightly, no.
Because he doesn't want to act with you. He's terrified of acting with you.
He's not terrified of acting with me, but he doesn't need to act with me. I mean, people tend to say, oh, you know, Max could play your son, or Jeremy could play your father, Max, and we think, no, we'll do that one day, but he doesn't need me. And the business he's gone into is very different from the business I went into 40 years ago.
But also another thing that's changed is just every time you say something that gets quoted in a paper or online or something, it's controversies around it. How do you deal with that? I mean, first of all, you say stuff that sometimes I hear, I'm like, what? What did he mean?
Yeah.
Wait.
No, I mean, that is terrible. The instant news factor, the whole thing that Twitter and Facebook and all of that have done is terrifying. I really pity people who are in power, people who are trying to get things changed, people who want real adult discussion about a subject. It's almost impossible now.
When you made the comment about same-sex marriage, they focused on the second half of your sentence more than the first half. Yeah. But it was quite a thing.
Yeah, I know. It got ridiculous. I mean, it was stupid. I'm just throwing the ball about. Right. I mean, I believe that discussion, you should be able to talk about everything. Just throw the ball out. What would this mean? What does it change? Let's discuss and as one person said to me, he said, you know, you made this statement. I said, I didn't make a statement. I was in a discussion.
It's different.
It's different. You're just, you know, you're playing devil's advocate. You're just trying...
Maybe if you'd have done it in song...
Maybe. Nobody would have listened.
Well, we're going to find out.
Are we?
You have a guitar? Bring a guitar. You said you travel with a guitar all the time.
Yeah, I didn't bring it to Toronto.
No, but we brought one for you. Is it in tune?
I don't use a pick. Shall I sing a song?
You sure should. Are you kidding me? I'm right into it.
It's late in the evening. She's wondering what clothes to wear. She puts on her makeup, brushes her long blonde hair, and then she asks me, do I look all right? And I say, yes, you look wonderful tonight. That's enough of that.
That's amazing. Dead Ringers is a great one. The exhibition is the David Cronenberg Evolution one at the Tips Bell Lightbox in Toronto through January 19th. What a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Nice talking to you.
Everybody. We'll be right back.